Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, and this one is all about a message from spirit that was meant to find you right now. If you are new to these videos, I'm going to give you a quick little rundown about how they work. So as you can see, we have 5 different groups in front of me. We have a group number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can take a moment to pause the video if you would like in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's going to be linked to your specific card. And then you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about Spirit's message for you that was meant to find you right now. If you like to choose with crystals on these cards, if you find that that helps you, then let's go ahead and pop some crystals on these cards. All right, my loves, if you like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. Over on group number 1, we have some panda agate. Then over on group number 2, we have some malachite. Group number 3, we have some sunset aura quartz. Group number 4, we have some amethyst. And then group number 5, we have some angel aura quartz. So again, take a moment to pause the video if you would like in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that is linked to your specific card so that you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about Spirit's message that was meant to find you right now. I'm really excited to get into it with you, and let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so group number 1, if you chose this pile with the panda agate, then let's go ahead and hop right into your reading. All right, so group 1, we have a pretty significant message right off the bat here. So our first 3 cards, we have ocean, mountain, and the horse. First off, the ocean can signify that currently we feel like there's a big distance between where we are right now versus where we want to be. Just as this card says at the top, it says distance and journey. So we might feel like there's a really far distance right now, and it might be sort of kind of scary, and we may be asking ourselves and wondering, like, am I ever going to get to my goal? Is it actually going to happen? Is it worth it? There's so much that I need to do, and it might just feel kind of daunting. There's almost like a daunting, maybe slightly intimidating feel. And the ocean is really interesting because it can make us feel like we don't know what direction to take. Maybe we don't know what the next step is because there's so much in front of us. There's so much to do in order for us to get to our goal. So we're maybe feeling that big open space, and it's sort of like, okay, where do I go? How do I know that I'm not going to get lost? How do I know that I'm going to make the right choices? And it's just a big distance and a big journey right now that you might be feeling like is ahead of you. But at the same time, there's something that's drawing you in. There's something that you desire to get to. And Spirit is really wanting you to focus in on this desire right now. They're bringing focus to this, and they want to talk about it with you. So the next card that we have is the mountain, which is also really interesting. So we have 2 cards that deal with some really big sort of nature kind of aspects. But these both talk about something that's pretty incredible, because the mountain is kind of similar to the ocean in where we kind of have this maybe sort of daunting feeling ahead of us. The mountain can indicate that we're currently going through a lot of challenges, and we might feel some pressure right now. We might feel like we're kind of sweating to get through something, and it's kind of like maybe we're really straining ourselves and being like, I'm like really climbing up high right now. So your goals might feel like they're putting you through some challenges at the moment, but the thing is the mountain, once we get to the top of it, we get to our goal. Right? So the challenges and the struggles that you're going through right now are bringing you to your goal, and Spirit wants you to know that right now. The challenges that you're currently facing are there because that's part of the journey of getting to your goal. If you could metaphorically look at your life like a mountain right now, you know, you're climbing like Mount Everest and you might be sweating, you might be tired, you might be almost out of breath, you might feel like your heart is racing at times, you might feel like there's a sense of stress because it's kind of a stressor on our muscles and on our physique and on our emotional and mental states to be climbing such a big thing and be going through kind of this sort of obstacle or challenge right now. So it might be feeling like it's weighing on you a little bit, but the thing is that Spirit wants to remind you of, this is part of the journey. This is part of the fact that, you know, it might feel like you're going a distance. It might feel like, dang, this is like getting a little bit difficult, but there's this message about do not give up. Because if you don't give up, if you continue to cross that ocean, if you continue to climb that mountain, you're going to get to your achievement. Just like this says, challenges lead to our achievements. Just kind of like when we're going to the gym and we are like working out, you're utilizing those muscles and it's really hard in the moment, but it's bringing you to a certain goal. It's bringing you to a certain achievement. So Spirit really wants to remind you of that. And look at the sense of like freedom that you're going to get when you reach the top of that mountain. There's definitely a message here of do not give up because your goals are achievable for you as long as you keep going. As long as you keep climbing, as long as you keep overcoming these challenges, even though it might seem really hard at times, and even though it might seem impossible in certain moments, Spirit really wants to remind you that you're going to get to the top if you keep going. If you keep taking steps forward, you are eventually going to get to the top and you're eventually going to get to that achievement. Spirit's really wanting to remind you of that right now. And there's another beautiful message here with our horse card, because the horse is all about freedom and action. So in order to get to your freedom, in order to get to this bliss that you're hoping for, in order to get to this breath of fresh air where you can relax and bask in your achievements, it's going to require action in the present moment. It's going to require moving forward and maybe even taking a certain risk to go on that journey and to overcome the challenges that you might be facing right now. This is about taking action on that. This is about moving forward, and you're going to get to that sense of freedom. You're going to get where you're wanting to go. And look at this sort of magical bliss that's around this horse. The white horse symbolizes purity as well. So this is when we remove all of the kind of gunk that maybe we're currently carrying with us. There's a moment where you're going to purify as you keep going. As you get to your goal, you're going to feel pure once again. You're going to feel free once again. I'm almost sensing for some of you, you're desiring more freedom when it comes to your time and your resources. You're wanting more freedom there. Some of you are also wanting to have more freedom over your life in general, over your life choices. And Spirit right now is coming through to tell you that you do have that freedom over your life choices. But this is about taking that freedom into your own hands and realizing that you can make certain decisions right now, even though it may come with a bit of a journey and a bit of a challenge. But the thing is it's going to help you get to that goal, right? If you're at the bottom of the mountain right now and your dream and your desire is sitting at the top of the mountain, then of course we're going to have to be like, all right, I got to gussy it up and, pack my bags and let's go. Let's start the journey, even though you know that it's going to be a challenge. Spirit is not trying to put this lightly and telling you that it's not going to be a challenge. There are going to be some challenges, and you've been seeing them already, you've been feeling them already. But Spirit's message is that it's not going to last forever. You are going to get to your goal, but there's a sense here where Spirit wants you to persevere through it, because it's so worth it when you get to the other side. You're going to have almost this floating energy of like, yes, I got it. And then it almost feels like you can let go a little bit. You don't have to try so hard anymore. Once you get to that goal, it's almost like you can float on top of it, and the momentum is just going to take you, and continue to guide you where you're meant to be. And it doesn't mean that, we can relax forever, but there is a sense that when you get to this goal, you will be able to let go so much more. You'll have this sense of freedom, and it's just like this bliss. Like there's a magical energy right here with this horse card. And I just think like Spirit's really, really, really wanting you to go for it, to not give up, and to continue to get through what it is that you're going through right now. Just like when we're treading through water, you know, when you try to like run when you're like waist deep in water, it's like so hard. I'm almost getting this image as if right now in your life right now, it feels like you're trying to tread through waist deep water. And then you have to swim, and then it's like, oh my God. And you know, it's never as fast as like being able to run. But the thing is that's going to end as you keep going, as you cross this ocean, you continue that journey, you're going to cross the ocean, you're going to climb the mountain, then you have the freedom of the horse. And I keep seeing this image of this horse running through this magical kind of like open land. And I see that that's going to be you. But you're almost like gaining the strength. Like if you train yourself to like tread through water, you're going to build more muscle than ever. And by the time you get back to land, it's going to feel like the most bliss and the most freedom, and you're going to be able to run like faster than ever. So I know I'm kind of like going off right now about the same sort of topic, but Spirit just keeps giving me all these different things to kind of explain in order to show you what the end result is going to be, and to show you that Spirit really sees where you are right now. Spirit understands where you are. And also there's a horse spirit that's near you right now. Some of you may be having dreams of horses. Some of you may be kind of like seeing horses more often, or maybe hearing them in conversations more often, maybe even hearing them in music or something like that. But this horse spirit is around you right now. And if you are seeing it or hearing it, this is a message that the freedom that you're seeking and the ability to run faster than ever and to be able to feel like there's no resistance anymore, that's coming for you. And the horse spirit is guiding you there. So remember that, okay? Then our next few cards, we have the Three of Air being reversed, which is basically the Three of Swords. When this one comes up, it can indicate that it's time for us to let go of certain fears that are holding us back, or some past disappointments. Some of you may be feeling a lot of resistance because there's been maybe some past disappointments where maybe we weren't getting what we wanted, or maybe certain things didn't work out for us and it hurt us on a deeper emotional level. You're going through a heart healing right now. You're going through a heart healing. I feel like your self-confidence is going to be increasing through this, and a lot of the resistance that you have in your life right now is teaching you how to be more confident. I recently read this like really interesting quote on, I think it was on Instagram or something, but it was a really beautiful quote. And I forgot the entirety of it. There was like so many, there was so much into it, but it's basically like, oh, when we ask God for strength, he'll send us a challenge. When we ask God for love, he'll send us pain so that we can learn how to love. When we ask for, et cetera, et cetera. Point being is like when you ask for strength, you'll get sent a challenge, because the challenge will make you stronger, right? So for example, the reason why I bring that up is your confidence is actually increasing right now, even though you may feel like it's decreasing. You may feel like it's decreasing, but this is actually building up your character and your internal state. And when you come out of it, oh my gosh, the amount of like difference it's going to make in your life is so beautiful. And that horse energy is bringing you through this, bringing you towards this. And you'll be able to move faster than ever, more efficiently than ever, and have a lot more freedom in your life. I feel like this is also teaching a lot of you how to live from the heart. And so this is about honoring what your heart desires, listening to your heart more often. You're gonna be able to have a much deeper connection to yourself and to your heart through this. The next card that we have is the Eight of Air being reversed. This is also another card that's great being reversed. This is a lot of healing, where all of those swords that were once stabbing our heart are lifting out, they're lifting away, and they're falling away. So all the things that once made you feel like you couldn't love, or that you couldn't open up, or that you couldn't live your authentic truth, that stuff is falling away. You may have been hurt in the past and it caused you to kind of close yourself off a little bit, close yourself off from doing the things that you truly want to do, and you maybe felt like there was a block there. This is all of a sudden opening up, because the Eight of Air also indicates that we maybe felt caged because of a certain hurt. all of that is about to fall away. And this challenge that you're going through right now is meant to teach you what you really desire. It's meant to teach you how to open back up again and let go of that fear. That's what it's teaching you right now. And even though it feels like it's the opposite, usually the opposite is what teaches us to propel in the opposite direction, right? Because we're seeing what it is that we don't want. We're going, maybe we're pushed so deep and far away from our authentic truth that we have to just bounce back and realize and gain the strength to bounce and break through those old barriers and those old walls. So that's kind of what's happening for you right now. So it's going to be so beautiful as you break free and break out of that again. The next card that we have is the Ace of Fire, which I love that one coming up next because this one talks about a new inspiration coming in. As you start to open up and as you start to free yourself, by the way, this card also deals with freedom, and that's why we have these feathers right here. You are about to break open again, but in the best way possible. I mean that in a good way. Like you're about to break open and let your light shine brighter than ever. And that's also that Ace of Fire, because it's like the fire is being reignited. If you felt like your fire has been put out because of the challenge that you're currently going through and whatnot, don't worry, that fire is about to reignite, but the message here is about continuing to move forward and trusting and knowing that you're being led in the right direction and that you're going to get to your goals and your desires. You are going to get there. Okay? Then we also have the World, and the World is when we close out an old chapter. So whatever it is that you're going through right now, that's coming to an end. And I honestly feel like it's coming to an end very soon for a lot of you. Very soon. I would say within the next 3 months, you're going to have some major breakthroughs in your life that are really life-changing. I feel like you're going to be noticing it even within this month that you're currently watching this. This video is timeless, by the way, so whenever you're watching this message is meant for you. But what I'm feeling in this World card is that this month you're going to have some major breakthroughs, but these breakthroughs are going to be occurring over the next 3 months. And after 3 months, I feel like the world is like opening up for you again. It's like you have the world at the palm of your hands once again, because you're closing out this old chapter. You're getting to this new beginning where you're ready to open up a new chapter and a whole new different story. The aces always talk about new beginnings and fresh starts. So I feel like you're going to be completing a lot of old challenges, wrapping those things up, getting to the top of that mountain and finding that freedom once again. And ooh, it's going to feel so good to be getting there once again. So with that being said, let's go into our next few cards. We have Paradox, which I'm actually not even surprised that one's coming up for you, because the interesting paradox that I was feeling for you through this reading has been the fact of sometimes we're given the opposite in order to propel us in the direction that we're wanting to go in. Such as, when we ask God or the universe for strength, we're given challenges. It seems like it's counterintuitive, but the thing is challenges make us stronger. And that's when we get strength, right? So that's kind of the interesting paradox that you're sort of going through right now, is maybe you're asking for financial freedom, but then you're given financial hardship in order to learn what you need to learn about money. And then all of a sudden you can propel forward and then gain the financial freedom that you are seeking, because you're going to learn how to create that. You're going to learn money management through going through financial struggles, for example. That's for example, right? So I'm not saying that that's exactly your situation, but whatever it is that you're currently going through, whatever challenges that you're currently seeing, whether that be in love, career, your home life, anything, this is actually giving you what you've been asking for, but you may not see it quite yet, but it's leading you. You're literally on the right path, okay? So then the next card we have is Transmute. This one is when we alchemize what we've been learning. So you're going through a moment where you're going to be alchemizing and making something of what you've learned. The worker bee here. This is really significant because he's taking the honey, or taking the nectar and making it into honey. You're going to be taking the nectar of the energy of what you're learning, and you're going to be learning how to make something very physical out of this. And I feel like this is going to be something that really pays off in the future, but you may not see it yet. This is whatever you're going through right now, whatever challenges you're going through, this is actually going to be something that very much pays off in the future. So remember that and embrace it and enjoy it, because this is something that's bringing you like a gift, and it's going to end up being like a physical gift where you make something out of this. We also have dare to dream. Do not let your dreams go. You are worthy of your dreams. There's a message here that you are worthy of it. So keep going. And also, you're being brought a gift. I'm definitely seeing that you're being brought a gift. I can't exactly see what this gift is, but there's a gift that you're going to be getting within these next 3 months. And it's a gift from spirit, a gift from the universe. So enjoy that. And I feel like the reason why I'm not seeing what it is because it's kind of different for each of you watching this, but there is a gift coming for you depending on what aspect of life that you're currently sort of dealing with or finding challenge in. There's going to be a gift for you that helps you through this. There's going to be some sort of reward at the end of this for going through what you're currently going through. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get any last cards on this reading for you. So let's see. Group 1, we have Field of Dreams. A lot of dream cards coming up. So with the dream cards, this particularly is talking about what your goals and desires are. Do not stop dreaming and do not give up on those dreams, because the way you're literally on the path. You're on the path of getting to that goal, even though it may seem like you're getting the opposite right now, but that's the paradox, is you're not getting the opposite of what you've been asking for, even though it may feel like it and look like it in the moment. So for example, if you've been asking for money, but you've been getting financial hardship, Spirit is telling you right now that that's actually the interesting paradox, is that they are giving you what you're asking for, but this is just part of the journey and part of the path to help you grow in a certain way to get to that end reward and to get to that end goal. So do not stop dreaming, do not give up on your dreams, and do not feel like your dreams are not meant for you just because you may be getting the opposite in the moment. A lot of cards fell out there, and I felt like this other card, ooh, shit, this one keeps like falling on me. We have Sea of Love. Ooh. Spirit also wants to give you a message of love right now. When we have Masquerade coming out, that one tried to come out earlier as well. Okay. Spirit's trying to give you a message of love, and they're also saying that some things may be hidden from you right now. The Masquerade, certain things are disguised. It's hidden. So you may be wondering, okay, why is it disguised? Why is it hidden? Why does it have to be so hard? Do not worry about that. They're going to be revealed at the right moment. There's some sort of divine timing in this where maybe certain things don't make sense right now, but it will make sense once you reach the end. Okay? So there's definitely a message of that. And you're surrounded in a sea of love right now. And I also see that you are growing a lot of self-love through this. And Spirit, there's also a gift coming in to help you embrace more self-love. There's a certain gift that's going to be coming in that allows you to see more love in yourself. So do not stop dreaming, and do not feel lost and confused just because certain things may not make sense right now. It's like almost like you're, going through a masquerade right now, where the thing that's meant for you is going to be revealed with a little bit more time. And it's actually going to be better than what you previously thought. It's going to be better than what you previously thought. There's something that's much better for you than what you even could imagine for yourself or, think of for yourself. There's something that's better for you. I hope I'm making sense right now. There's literally something that's more meant for you and even better for you. And all of this sort of chaos that might be happening right now is meant to kind of shift things up, because it's going to be teaching you something, helping you grow, and it's going to be shifting up a little bit of your direction, and it's going to bring you to this ultimate freedom. It's going to help you close out this old chapter, and you're going to be getting a wonderful gift at the end of this. So hopefully that's making sense right now. That is what Spirit wants you to know. And I know that might be a little bit confusing, but the Masquerade kind of comes with a bit of a sort of confusing energy where you can't really fully see what is there and what is waiting for you. But this is going to be something that is amazing. This is going to be something where you're going to really be able to transform so much. You're transmuting what you're learning, and it's going to become something great. Okay? So I know that I'm speaking in a little bit of tongues at the end of this, but that is what we have for you, group number 1. Whew. And then it's also interesting that you chose the panda agate, because it's the white and black, right? And so things might be sort of a little bit confusing right now, but you're about to you're about to do a switch, a flip, where things might feel really dark right now, but the light is coming. You're gonna be able to shine your light brighter than ever. So some panda jasper energy for you there. That is what we have for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense for you, even though I know it's like kind of a little bit confusing at the end there, but at the same time, trust the process, because it is literally bringing you to the field of dreams, where I think you're going to be, the field also indicates that you're going to be reaching a lot of your manifestations and a lot of your desires at once. It's almost like as you kind of crack open to this other side, and as you reach the top of this mountain, as you kind of, overcome these challenges, all of a sudden, all these desires that you had are going to start flowing into your life. You're going to be in sort of the field of your dreams, where all of a sudden, a lot of things start flowing in all at once. A lot of things start happening all at once. So that's another message that I wanted to end you off with here. So be ready, be prepared, and do not give up. Continue going, because you are going to get to these dreams as long as you kind of continue moving forward. So that is what we have here, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 2, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be a reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, so group 2, the first 2 cards that we have for you are the dog and the coins. The dog expresses the energy of loyalty and dedication and determination and willpower to get through on things. They are very committed. And a certain thing that I'm seeing for you is Spirit wants to acknowledge how committed that you've been, how hardworking that you've been, the fact that you've been very loyal and you've been really keeping up on a lot of things. There's an energy here where you are like a really good soul. I'm definitely feeling with this dog energy, you're a genuine, really good soul. Some of you may even be born in the year of the dog. So that could be your Chinese zodiac as well, just since we have that coming up here. But either way, even if you're not, this is still relevant. There's an energy where Spirit really wants to acknowledge the fact that you've put in so much good energy towards people. Your intentions are usually always, really good and really positive, and you tend to kind of go above and beyond for people. Some of you may even be a little bit of people pleasers at times, just because the dog energy can indicate that we, put other people's needs before our own. We also really try to make other people happy all the time. And there's good karma coming your way. Spirit wants to tell you that your efforts, your commitment, and your loyalty and your determination to something is about to pay off. Your dedication to it. There's also a message here of don't give up, because what you've been doing, the commitment and the effort that you've been putting into something, there is a payoff here. There is something where karma is going to pay you for what you've been doing. Okay, so you've put in a lot of great energy, and you may not have seen a proper amount of reward for that. Some of you may not even expect to see a reward for that. Some of you may just be doing things from the goodness of your heart. And some of you may just be doing things because you're like, oh, I have to do this. I'm of service to something. The dog can indicate that we're of service to something, and we've been really, putting a lot of effort somewhere. Maybe we've been going above and beyond in a certain area, or maybe we just, do a lot without asking for anything. It is going to pay off for you. There is a payoff coming for you. And this even though this card says money, this could be in the form of money, but it could also be in other forms as well, where all of a sudden we get opportunities, and all of a sudden other doors open for us, and it just seems like luck is on your side. Like all of a sudden when you're doing certain things, it's going to feel like luck is on your side. It's going to feel like a spirit has been watching over you. Some of you may even have a pet, like a spirit animal pet that is watching you from the other side, that really wants to kind of come through right now. And also, oh my gosh, I just realized that off to the side, there's literally another card that I forgot to pull out for you. And that is the scales. Ooh, justice and documents. Interesting. Okay, so some of you are definitely very committed to something. Some of you, and you know what's so interesting is this card also talks about karma, so it's so interesting that I was seeing it with these two cards, and then this card just sort of really locks that in. And this card is really connected to Libra, by the way. There could be a Libra in your life, you may be a Libra, or this could just be talking about the energy of Libra for you, which is about balance. If certain things in your life have felt out of balance lately, whether that be your time, maybe you spend a lot of time working and you don't have a lot of time to yourself. Maybe some of you spend a lot of time, doing so many things that you don't get enough sleep, for example. There's certain things that are out of balance in your life right now. And the scales are an indication that balance is coming back into your life. You are going to be restored. All of the energy that you're putting towards something, and maybe you're not getting the payoff, this reminds you, the scales comes in as a reminder that you are going to get that payoff. That payoff is coming. Life and karma and the energies of the universe always have a way of rebalancing. And they will rebalance everything. Nature has a way of rebalancing. A lot of the times in nature, you'll see an ebb and flow with a lot of things. You may be in a really deep ebb and flow right now, but it's about to balance out. It is about to balance out. If you've been... Oh, all of a sudden Siri turned on my phone. I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm not even gonna working
on that.
Do you hear that right now? Siri, go away. That is so weird. All of a sudden Siri turned on. I don't know if I said a word that sounded like Siri or something, but anyway, Siri turns on there and she says working on that. There's something where the universe is working on it for you. They're working on rebalancing things. Also, sorry, that was out of focus as well. There's a lot of kind of chaos going on in this reading. For one, I forgot to bring out this card. Siri's turning on. The camera's out of focus. It might feel like a lot of things in your life right now are out of balance. And you may be putting a lot of effort forward with a lot of dedication and determination, even though it may feel, you may be also listening to this reading being like, oh, I'm not that dedicated. I'm not that, loyal. I've been super frustrated lately and things have been chaotic and things have been disorderly. Spirit sees how you've been handling it, and you've been handling it very well. This is going to be something that rebalances, and that is the main message here. And I know I've been sort of really pushing that in here for the last 5 minutes, but things are meant to rebalance for you, and you're about to get a lot of really positive karma. So do not give up yet. Do not give up at all, in fact, because the scales will be rebalancing, especially if things feel a bit lopsided right now. Especially regarding time and resources. If your resources feel out of balance, if your time and your schedule feels out of balance, if your internal circadian rhythm feels out of balance, these things are going to be rebalancing, and luck and resources is going to be coming your way. There's certain things that are just mystically in the works behind the scenes right now that you cannot see, and you are going to be rewarded for this. That is the main massive message that is coming through for you that Spirit really wants you to know, okay? So with that being said, let's get into our next few cards here. So we have the moon coming up. Ooh, that one, I love that coming up. So this one's actually a really interesting card because the moon can talk about that we are currently maybe in a space where things feel really unknown. This can also talk about your sleep patterns as well. So some of you may be having kind of lopsided sleep patterns, or maybe your sleep is all over the place. So your circadian rhythm may be kind of confused right now, but that's something that's going to be brought into balance, but we need to be determined. There's an energy here of being committed and determined to make this happen, to change your life. The moon also indicates that we may have certain subconscious fears that are coming up right now, and we may feel like backing out of certain things. We may feel like running away from certain things right now. And this is coming up to indicate, let's be the dog energy. Let's go back to this dog energy where we are loyal to what we've committed to. We are determined in what we've committed to. This is also about being loyal to yourself as well. Loyal to yourself, loyal to your dreams, and loyal to the commitments that you desire to have in your life. Okay? There could be certain fears coming up, and it's time for us to face them and, get to the other side, to where they're no longer bothering us anymore. The only way to overcome fears is to face them. So there's an energy here of facing your fears as well. We also have the 5 of air being reversed. This is technically the 5 of swords. This one indicates letting go of hurt, letting go of being your own worst enemy even. So some of you may be like overly critical of yourselves, overly critical of certain things in your life right now. There's an energy where we need to be kinder. Like a dog where they're like happy to see you no matter what mood you're in, no matter what state you're in, they're always excited, they're always happy. I'm almost feeling like this is the energy that we're needing to bring in a little bit more, to be kinder to ourselves, to be excited when we wake up in the morning, being excited for the things that we have, and sticking through things even when they get tough. Some of you, your career might be tough right now. Like it might feel like you're not making as much money as for the amount of effort that you're putting in. But this is about sticking it through, because it is going to pay off. The scales always rebalance. Do not give up on this, especially if this deals with career, is something that I'm hearing. We also have the Hierophant. So there's going to be a huge level of learning that you're going to be doing through this. And it's interesting, we have double 5s right here. 5s indicate a lot of change, and it could indicate like a chaotic energy where things are tipped over and out of balance. But they are tipped over and out of balance, and they will get even more tipped over and out of balance in order to rebalance, if that makes sense. Because a double negative is a positive. So I'm hearing that there's going to be, a certain level of shifts in your life happening. There's going to be shifts happening, but it's to bring you back into balance, and it's going to bring you really positive, really good karma. There's a higher level of learning that you're going to be doing through this. Some of you may even be interested in taking certain courses, going back to school for something, reading a book or something like that. And there's going to be a lot of self-development through this. And this self-development is going to help you massively in the long run. It's going to teach you so much, and I really see that you're going to be excelling. This is like a blessing that's happening in your life right now. We also have the 9 of fire, which is technically the 9 of wands. And the 9 of wands indicates that we've been through a bit of a battle, and we may have some certain battle scars right now. We may be like a bit torn up, but the 9 of fire is always about like persevering anyway, wearing your heart on your sleeve regardless of how many times you've been hurt, regardless of how many times you've been disappointed, regardless of how many times that you've failed. There's no such true thing as failure unless we give up, right? If we continue to try, it's just an obstacle or a challenge that we are overcoming, right? So it's best to look at this as an obstacle or challenge that you are overcoming, rather than as a failure, okay? Because there's no such thing as failure if we keep trying. And this is about continuing to move forward. and wearing your heart on your sleeve and not closing off. Okay. The next card that we have, I hope this is making sense, by the way. To me, it kind of feels like it's a little bit all over the place. I hope this is making sense. We also have the Empress here. The Empress deals with, she's actually such a positive card. So I feel like this is what Spirit is trying to tell you, how your life is going to evolve as these scales begin balancing out, because they are in the process of balancing out, and your good karma is on its way, where all of a sudden you're going to have a lot of luck coming in, a lot of more resources coming in, where it feels like you have much more time on your hands and more money and other resources as well. This Empress card is when we bask in abundance. The Empress is all about abundance, and it's this mothering, nurturing energy where it feels like we have a lot of time on our hands and we can nurture ourselves properly. So you're going into a phase where you're going to be able to nurture yourself very properly, and you're also going to feel abundant. The wheat can symbolize money. It can symbolize nutrients. It can symbolize like bread. And, you know, the wheat can last through winter, right? Like we can store it, it lasts through winter. So there's also a message here that you are being protected enough to last through this winter that you may be going through right now. This feeling of like not a lot of abundance. You're about to enter this time where there is a lot of abundance. You're accumulating it. The resources are going to be coming in, and you're going to be okay. And you're going to get to a time of major abundance in your life very soon. So keep that in mind, okay? The next few cards that we have for you, we have ancestors. So I think a lot of you are breaking old ancestral patterns. You may have like, sorry, my camera's getting so blown out. It got super bright here. Let's see. Okay, that's about as dim as I can go right now, but it's fine. So ancestors can indicate that there are certain things that are deeply rooted right now. So you may have like deeply rooted things around ideas of money, ideas of worthiness, ideas about what's possible for you, and things like that. And what I see for you is that you're going to be breaking these ancestral patterns. If you have a pattern in your family life that things are difficult, or money is hard to come by, or time is always something that's difficult or whatnot, if you have these sort of ancestral patterns, you're going to be breaking those. This is a time of you learning how to break those ancestral patterns, and you're meant to break those. Also, I'm hearing that deep in your ancestry, there's a lot of abundance deep there. If you go further back in your ancestry, you're connected to a lot of abundance. You're meant to have abundance. There's also a lot of things that you've already rooted yourself in, such as like really good intentions, really good positive things that you've already done. And I'm really seeing like the universe will be feeding you energy, time, and resources. There's a lot of luck that's going to be coming your way. We also have Ask Body. This can indicate that your intuition is very strong. This can also indicate that your body has been trying to communicate with you lately. So, for example, if your body's been overtired, this is your body telling you, we need more sleep. It's time for us to take matters into our own hands and get more sleep. And you'll notice that your resources may increase, actually, because sometimes when we get more sleep, we can think clearer the next day, which opens up our mind to be able to do more, accomplish more, and then in turn we get more money. Then, you know, rather than the opposite, where we're depriving ourselves of sleep because we're so stressed and we need more time, we need to get this work done. But then, of course, when we're super tired and we're depriving ourselves of sleep and we're depriving ourselves of fun and recuperation and regeneration, then when we go to try and work, we're not as efficient, or we make mistakes, and that puts us behind, and it puts us behind on time. So sometimes when we listen to our body and what our body's telling us, when we listen to when our body needs a break, even though we may not have the time for a break, sometimes it can be the best thing that we've ever done for ourselves. So there's a message of that coming through as well. So it's time to listen to your body more. It's also time to love your body more. The Empress also talks about nurturing your body. This is about putting the proper nutrients in and giving your body what it needs. Again, if your body needs rest, this is about giving it rest. If your body needs more healthy food, this is about taking the time to maybe cook a good home cooked meal. If your body's been telling you like, hey, I really need to do a cleanse of something, it's time to listen to that as well, because that is also a message that's coming through here. It's time to give yourself the love and the nurture that you deserve. Love and nurture is coming through heavily right now, and this is going to help you get back into that balance. And once you're back into that balance, I really think a lot of that great karma is going to start flowing in, and you're going to notice that you do have more resources, time, money, energy, love, and luck. Those things will be on your side once again. So with that being said, let's go ahead and end off this reading with some last few cards here. So group 2, what other last messages does Spirit have for you? What other last messages does Spirit have for group 2? Group 2, group 2. All right, we have Inspired Warrior. It is time to take charge of your life. It is time to step into your power. I also think you're going to be stepping more into your power. You're going to feel more powerful as you begin to listen to your body more. We also have Unconditional Love. It's about letting more love into your life and making more time for love, whether that be self-love, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, realizing that you are an infinite, beautiful spiritual being and you deserve to love yourself. When you unconditionally love something, that means there's no conditions that can make you love it more or less. So this is about unconditionally loving yourself for who you are in the present moment. We also have nature coming up. So this can indicate spending more time in nature. This can indicate getting a breath of fresh air. This can indicate listening to the natural rhythms of your body, listening to the natural parts of your body, what your body's asking you for, right? So in nature, this is about listening to your instincts, what your human nature needs and desires and wants in the moment. Okay, so it's also about all of that. We also have the card here of new beginnings as well. This can indicate that you are opening up a new chapter and that you won't have to deal with the same problems as you are dealing right now. As this begins to balance out, as you begin to balance out the scales of your life, as you begin to honor your body more, honor what you need, and as you begin to balance that, I really feel like a lot of great karma will be flowing in, and a lot of things that felt out of balance are going to be rebalanced, and you're going to enter a brand new beginning where those old problems that you're currently facing no longer exist. They're no longer going to be part of your life anymore at all, okay? So that is what we have there. Group number 2. I'm sorry if some of this reading felt all over the place. There's definitely a lot going on here, but at the end of the day, we have a beautiful, clear message about bringing in more balance, honoring your body, and then all of a sudden, these scales will be rebalanced, and a lot of this karma that you're currently owed is going to be coming back to you and flowing back to you. Okay, so that is what we have there, my beautiful group 2s. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there, and hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye! Alright, so group number 3, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's hop right into it. Alright, so group 3, I am super excited to get into your reading with you. It is actually a new day that I'm filming right now because I ended up getting a little bit sick, but we are better now. So I'm excited to continue this video and this reading. What we have for you to start you off, we have the Groom card, the Gate card, and the Cat card. An interesting thing that I'm hearing from Spirit is that you may have closed yourself off lately out of fear of what other people may think or say about you. But your soul has such a calling. You have a calling. You have something that your heart, like, it sets you on fire. It's something that I feel like you really desire to commit to. It's something that I feel like you feel very called towards and pulled towards. It's something that you desire to take action on, because this is a more masculine card, since this is the groom card. And the masculine energy talks about our action towards something. So there is a desire that you have. It's this light inside of you, but you may have been closing yourself off from fully doing it, or getting yourself out there, or fully showing who you are. You have to look at this light, right? And whether you're a man or a woman or whatever, this card is kind of representing your more masculine side, the side of you that wants to take action and fight for something and do something, right? And this little light that is like here on your heart, you have such a light that wants to be seen, that wants to shine. But again, you need to open up in order to let it shine and let go of the fear of gossip, jealousy, of what people may think, what people may say. I think a lot of you have been maybe trying to please other people because you don't want to cause drama, you don't want to make other people upset, you're trying not to offend other people, whatnot, But the thing is like, we cannot please everybody. And if we're living a life where we're just focused on pleasing others, we're never going to be happy, right? That's never going to make us happy. It's never going to make us fulfilled. The only thing that's ever going to make you fulfilled is being you, getting into your own element and doing things that you feel resonate with you, the things that light your soul on fire. And spirit really wants you to get back in alignment with that, because you hold that within you, but you've been closing it off. It's almost like, you've been restricting yourself. For example, like if you've desired to say something, post something, do something, whatever it is, you've been restricting yourself, or you may have just felt restricted, right? Because of all of this. I think that maybe you've had and experienced some backlash in your past. Like maybe you've experienced people expressing negativity towards you and whatnot. We've all experienced that on some level. But I feel like right now, in this moment, you've almost let it consume you to the point where it's now obstructing you. It's literally, you've let it close you down. You've let it close you in. And you may feel lost or confused, and some of you may even feel uninspired. And let me tell you, the reason why you've been feeling that way is because you haven't let your heart sing. You haven't been letting your heart and your soul do what it really wants to. You've been stopping it from shining. But if you just open up this gate, if you take the opportunity is right in front of you, you hold the opportunity to open that gate back up again. You hold within you the power to open yourself back up again and to completely let your heart sing and shine, and to start doing the things that you really want to do, the things that really resonate with you, the things that really make you feel alive and make you feel fulfilled. That is what spirit really wants you to come out and do again. And it's almost like some of you have been even questioning yourselves. Some of you may have even been questioning yourselves because you're wondering, are these people right? Are all of these other people right? And it's like, no, they're not. And it doesn't mean that just because one person thinks a certain way that everyone thinks that way. There's people that are going to be in total alignment with you. There's going to be people that are in a total marriage with you that totally resonate with you. And there are people that are almost waiting for your message to come out. There's people that are like waiting for your heart to sing again. They're waiting for you to, shine that light. It's like they've been waiting for that. There's people that are in total alignment with you, but we've been focusing too much on the people that may not be in alignment with us. And there's always going to be people that are not in alignment. We can't change that, right? So an important thing that Spirit wants you to know is like, they're always going to be here, but who do you want to focus on? If you have a whole audience in front of you, do you want to focus on the people that are giving you backlash? Do you want to focus on the people that are negative and the naysayers? Or do you want to focus on the people that love your message and love who you are and love what you're about? And the people that are in such alignment with you that are there to hear what you have to say? Who do you want to be speaking to, right? And it's interesting because I was reading this public speaking book recently, and the author, I don't even remember who it was basically saying, like, if you have an audience and you're talking about something, never focus on talking to the person who's sitting there looking grumpy. Because if you're talking to them, you're going to lose the inspiration of the people that are there to see you, like, don't focus on, like, changing the opinion of somebody who is kind of sitting there with their arms crossed and they're like, if you only focus on the people that are sitting there and they're so interested and they're like, ooh, you're going to be talking in a completely different way. You're going to be focusing on a completely different world. So then if you're focused on, talking to the ones that are so into what you're about, if you focus on that, the amount of inspiration that's going to come through what you're talking about, the amount of resonance that those people are going to feel is so much greater than if you're speaking to the wrong person. Look at who you're speaking to, look at who you're talking to, look at who you're focusing on, right? Focus on the ones that resonate with you. Who do you want to be married to, right? Who do you want to be married to? Do you want to be married to the people that put you down all the time, or do you want to be married to the person that lifts you up and resonates with you and is totally on the same page as you, right? Speak to those people. Be in alignment with those people. Get more of those people in your life. Put your focus towards them. So no longer do we have to let this stuff stop us. No longer do we have to let these people stand in our way and be on our mind and be on our awareness all the time, right? Because then we're just going to close off and close down. Just like if you're giving a speech and you're focused on the person who's not resonating with it, of course you're going to get a little bit more uninspired. You're going to be kind of a little bit more nervous, and you're not going to be as good, and you're kind of going to sound like you're questioning yourself all the time. But then, instead, again, if you change your focus to the people that fully resonate with you and you become in a marriage with that, and you're like, I'm committed to that, I'm focusing on that, all of a sudden, your speech is going to go back towards what your truth is. It's going to go back to that core light that you have, you know what I mean? So, I love this. This is such a powerful message. I hope you're really, feeling what I'm saying here, because Spirit is definitely calling this forward right now, and it's in such a beautiful way. And this is all about just opening up that gate, letting yourself feel at home in your own heart, letting yourself feel at home living your soul's passions. That's a huge message in here. Letting yourself feel at home with those passions. You have an opportunity in front of you right now to open up this gate, and it's going to open up more opportunities. If you felt like you haven't had a lot of opportunities or ideas coming to you lately, or creativity coming to you lately, it's because you've been shut behind the gate of these people, of these fears. And if you're closed behind that gate of those fears, all you're seeing is like all the reasons why you should stop, all the reasons why you should be closed off, because that's all you're going to see, right? If you close this gate, the only thing that you're going to see is the gate and the wall. It's going to make you feel very restricted. It's going to make you feel very lost. You're not going to feel very creative, and you're not going to have a lot of ideas. But then if you open the gate and you're like, you know what, F this, let's get rid of that. Let's just be in the marriage with, like, my soul, my commitments, what I'm into, and the people that resonate with that. And then all of a sudden we walk outside of this old barrier and look at like the inspiration that you can find. All of a sudden, that's when you're going to get all those creative ideas. That's when you're going to be flowing. That's when it's going to feel like you have your freedom back, right? So since we're done talking about that, now I'm going to put our cat card over here, because we're putting that behind us, right? And now you're opening the gate. Let's go like this. So we're complete opposite now, right? So we got to flip things. So now this could be the new you, where The naysayers are way back here. You're not even listening to them. You can't even hear them because you're so far gone. They can be in this gate, right? You're walking out of that gate and you're walking towards freedom, and you're going to be out in the open and completely shine and be in your bliss. And look at the amount of freedom that he has here. Look at what a different story this is when the cat is now shut out in the gate and shut out of our head, shut out of our mind, and we can walk into that freedom. It's such a different story than if we had this, right? Because then we're stuck in the gate and the cat is controlling us. So let's go like this, and the cat has no more power over us, right? Not that cats are bad, but we mean the cat in these cards. I love cats though, cats are great, but just in the sense of these oracle cards, right? So with that being said, let's get into some more cards that we have for you. So the next card that we have here is 3 of Fire, and I love that this one's coming up for you because this is basically the 3 of Wands, which talks about the fact that you're going to be on a journey. This is when you open up that gate and you take that risk and you go on the journey. Even the person in this depiction of this card is like on some sort of boat. This is about you going on that journey, getting out in the open and letting all your inhibitions fall away to the side. All those old things, it's just like, you know what, I'm on the journey, let's continue it, let's go on it, let's do it, and let's open up to, and not have any more restrictions, not have a gate standing in our way anymore. We also have the 4 of Fire coming next, that's fun, so the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is when we reach a really big milestone and when we have something to celebrate. And this is creating a really solid foundation for yourself. So what I'm seeing that Spirit is really wanting you to do is, again, open up that gate, go on that journey, and allow your freedom to come back. You hold the freedom in the palm of your hands because you get to choose whether or not to open up this gate and to stop listening to this. You get to choose to put that behind you and to put that in its cage. That can go in the cage and you can come back out, right? So that's the story that this is also kind of reiterating. So the 3 of Fire is when we get our freedom back and we are fully exploring all these new realms. The things that you feel called to, Spirit is like, it's time to explore them. It is time to go after them. And then this 4 of Fire is when we reach a milestone where we're really proud and we can celebrate. So there's going to be something in your future that if you go and open yourself back up, there's going to be something to celebrate. And I feel like it's going to happen right away, to be honest. I feel like you're going to get results really fast by choosing to switch this up, by choosing to put the cat in its cage. You're going to be celebrating something very fast, very quickly. The next card that we have, we have the Emperor next, and we have the Lion at the top. So this is when we become roaring, when we own our power, we take our power back. And I don't mean to be putting cats down in this reading, by the way. I literally love cats, they're my favorite. But just because the cat card is correlated with gossip and jealousy in this reading, I'm referring to it as the cat. But you're becoming a lion. And the lion, as we know, is a type of cat, but it's a lot more powerful. So this is about you stepping into a much more powerful position where even if you hear a little bit of something, you hear like some gossip, or you hear somebody talking bad, or like, you know, if you hear somebody opposing your opinion or whatever, you know, this is when you become the lion and you're looking at that cat and you're like, you literally have no power here. Like, you can say all of what you want. This lion is not going to be scared of this cat, right? So this is about you stepping up in that power. And I see you becoming so much more powerful to the point where anybody could say anything and you're just in your own element and it doesn't even faze you. It doesn't even bother you. That is where you are headed as you go down this path. That's what's happening for you. And the Emperor, let me tell you, is someone who owns his position so fiercely. And he's not scared of a thing. Like, look at the contentment on his face, right? And it's interesting that we have the 4 and the 4 here. You're going to be building such a solid foundation that you're immovable by this stuff. Like, this stuff is not even going to remotely have an effect on you anymore. And that's what Spirit wants you to move towards. And again, you move towards it by slowly beginning to put that in its cage and just letting your heart sing, right? And no longer putting focus towards that, no longer giving it power by thinking about it or dwelling on it. It's like, let's just move to freedom. And then we have the Queen of Air as well. And air is the swords, and it symbolizes communication. It symbolizes words, thinking, what we focus on, our mind. So this is about you becoming the queen of your own mind, becoming the ruler of your own mind and what you focus on and the communication that you dabble into. So are we dabbling into gossip and jealousy? Are we dabbling into putting ourselves down? Are we bringing our mind and our focus and our awareness towards this? Or are we bringing our mind, focus, and awareness towards what our heart and soul is connected to? What our heart and soul thrives on? What our heart and soul wants to be committed to? So this is a time to ask yourself, what are you committed to? Are you committed to changing the minds of these people? Or are you committed to your soul's mission? Are you committed to what sets your soul on fire? Or do you want to be committed to trying to convince this, right? What do we want to be committed to? Then the next card we have is the Five of Earth. Ooh, so this one talks about something being discarded, forgotten about. It also talks about the victim mentality as well. But what I'm kind of hearing in this card is that it's time for you to discard what no longer serves you, and this doesn't serve you. So it's time to discard it. It's time to literally just like give it the boot and be done with it, right? And that's what this is suggesting, and sort of like, I feel like that's what Spirit is telling you to do. It's also telling you to get out of victim mentality as well, since this card does talk about victim mentality. So it's time for us to leave behind feeling like we are not in control of it, because Spirit wants you to realize that you have more power than you think. You have so much more power than you think. You are literally the lion. You are the lion. But how do you wake up a lion and tell them like, hey, you're a lion, you don't need to be afraid of the cat? Like, how do you wake up a lion and tell them that? So, you have more power than you think, okay? And you have the choice to open up your soul again, to listen to your soul and to follow your soul. And you have the power to put this in a cage and no longer give it power. You have the power to choose where you put what you value most. So it's time to value this way more than you value this. Time to put yourself first, right? Literally. Instead of putting yourself right here and putting this thing first, switch it. Because right when you switch it, you get your freedom back, okay? Hopefully that's making sense. But anyway, let's get into our next few cards here. So the next one we have is the Surrender card. So sometimes we just need to let go. Sometimes we just need to surrender to it. And also what I'm hearing in this is it's surrendering to this, realizing that you cannot change other people. Surrender to it. Those naysayers, the negative people, the opposite thinkers of you, they're always going to exist. We cannot change it. So we might as well surrender to it. It's always going to exist. And the more that we resist it and oppose it, the more that we get lost in it. And the more that we lose our own path and what we truly stand for on ourselves and our own. So it's time for us to surrender to it. Allow it to be there, but don't focus on it. We don't need to focus on it, right? Focus on you, your soul's mission. Put yourself first and put this last on the priority list of things to think about and things to focus on, right? Then we also have get curious. Look at spread your wings, let them fly. Get curious again. Don't restrict yourself. Don't restrict your way of thinking. Don't restrict anything. Let yourself be free again. Get curious about life. Open up that cage. Let your soul wander and roam where it please, right? We also have versatility. So this is also a reminder to allow yourself to adapt to any situation. Adapt to any situation. So even when things are like mucky, it's like, let's adapt to it and let's do our best to be our best. And as long as we're focusing on that, then things are great. Things are great. They're fantastic. Learn how to work around all the ish, because there's always going to be ish. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be opposition. Let's become versatile and learn how to work around that. Let's learn how to find a path regardless. So for example, mice, like the way that they sort of build tunnels, the way that they always find a way, even when there's an obstacle, you know, they'll like dig their way a new hole. They'll find themselves, or they'll always find a way to get to their goal. So this is about you becoming versatile, and even when you're facing challenges and whatnot, let's just, you know, embrace our versatility and find a way regardless. So that is that. Let's go ahead and shuffle this last deck of cards and get any last information for my group 3s. We have spring. Spring back to life, baby. Let yourself blossom and bloom. What happens in spring? Things blossom and they bloom and things spring back to life. You were recently in the winter stage where things felt stuck. Things felt like they weren't moving. It's like you were frozen. It felt like you were restricted. That's what that gate was showing. When that's closed off, you're in the winter stage. But now it's time to spring back to life. It is time to blossom and bloom and plant those seeds. What seeds do you want to plant? How do you want to grow? Let's plant those seeds and let's literally start to bloom and blossom. Let's melt the ice. All those things that used to restrict you and made you feel frozen and stuck, it's time to melt that away, right? By bringing yourself love. So what melts things? It's heat. Give yourself that heat again by allowing your heart to be set on fire by something again. Allow that heat in by allowing yourself the freedom of following what you desire and doing what you desire and doing the things that make you light up, because that's what's going to melt the ice. We also have self-worth. You are worthy. Don't let self-worth issues get in the way of this. You are worthy. Do not question your worth. You are absolutely worthy. It doesn't matter about your past. It doesn't matter what you've been through. And there was a great example of this. For example, like somebody took a $100 bill. I think this was a comedian actually, or it might have been like a inspirational speaker or something. I don't remember who it was. But this person, in order to make a point about worthiness, they took a $100 bill and it was a crisp one, and they asked the audience, what is this worth? And everyone's like, it's worth $100. Duh, it's a $100 bill, it's worth $100. Then he threw it on the ground, he stomped on it, he like spit on it, all this other stuff. He kind of like, you know, did a lot of vile things to it. And he's just like, if you saw this on the side of the road, you know, now what is it worth? After it's been like spit on, it's been on the sidewalk, people have discarded it, it's been through hell and back. What is this bill worth? And guess what? The bill is still worth $100. It didn't lose value. The bill doesn't lose value just because it's had a past and it's been through a lot of blah, right? Like, I'm sure you've been to a store and got a bill back that was like, oh man, this bill's been through, it has seen better days. But it doesn't lose its worth. You have not lost your worth no matter what your past has been. And would you still pick up a $100 bill if it was on the ground and it was like, you know, covered in mud and whatnot? Like, I would still pick it up. I'd be like, ooh, $100. Like, you know what I mean? You're still worthy. Everyone will still see you as your worth. You have not lost worth, okay? And you're definitely worth more than $100, but you know what I mean? You've not lost any of your worth, no matter what your past has been, okay? That's the point. The next card that we have here is Timeless Earth. You are not late to the party. There's also a message here that you are not too late to start what it is that you desire. You are also not too early. So if you may have a fear of inferiority because of your age, that's not the case. You are not inferior because of your age. You are not behind on schedule, nor are you too early. So you're not too old and you're not too young. We live on a timeless planet. You can do things at any age. And there's examples of people doing things at any age. There's examples of people being in their like pre-teens and starting a business that ends up being wildly successful. So you're not too early to the party, nor are you too late, because there's also examples of people who start brand new careers in their 80s. They start a brand new career that they've never done before and they become successful at it. So it's like we really live in a timeless earth. You are not too old, you are not too young, you are not too early or late to anything. You know, you may be looking at people who are like younger than you and might be, you know, further on than you, right? But that's not the case. That's not the case. You have a life full of wisdom, and what you choose to do with that in the present moment can excel you forward in a quantum leap to brand new places at any moment in time. Okay, we also have resolution. Ooh, things are coming to resolutions. It's time to find ways to close out the old chapter. It's time to find ways to come to resolutions with these old fears, with these old things. It's time to let it go. It's time to defeat this old way of life and this old way of being. We also have I am truth, you are truth, what you hold within you, the way that you feel, the way that you think, the things that you believe. You are your own world, right? You don't need to become anybody else's world. It's all on personal experience. You are truth for who you are, okay? You get to follow your heart, whether people agree with it or not. People might be on a different life path, right? But it doesn't take away from your truth. Just because somebody's on a different path and they have a different opinion, and they may have valid reasons for having their opinions, it doesn't take away from your truth, the way that you feel, your experience, and what you desire on this planet, okay? You are truth for being who you are. Whew! Anyway, my goodness, did Spirit ever come through on this reading group number 3? I am so happy with how clear and precise Spirit was through this whole reading. That was so beautiful. And I loved that, and I hope it resonated for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 4, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be a reading, so let's get right into it. All right, so group 3, we have the birds card, the scarab beetle, which is actually a very significant one, and then we also have the dove. So a message that I'm seeing for you, the message that Spirit wants to give you today, is that there's been something that you've been sort of hearing or feeling or sensing on some level. You may have heard people talking about it a lot, or it might be something that's on your mind, but there's some sort of transformation that you are being called to make in your life. And again, this is something that you've been feeling on a deep level, and you may have even been like hearing signs or seeing different things. There's been certain coincidences. It's like, oh, I was just thinking about that. And then, somebody's talking about that. Or, it's just maybe an underlying feeling that you have about something that you need to transform in your life. And you know that this is a positive transformation, but you may be reluctant on making this transformation because it may involve ending an old habit or pattern, or ending like a chapter in your life that maybe it's like, okay, that's like a big kind of step, and it takes a lot of, maybe effort to make this thing happen. But it's definitely something that on a deep level is going to bring you to a better place, a better state of being, because this dove card, doves deal with love, beauty, and then also peace and serenity, just like it says. So this is something that if you make this transformation, your life is going to become more peaceful, more serene. It is going to invite in more love into your life. And there's also a level of beauty that's coming with it as well. It's almost like maybe it's going to enhance you in some way, shape, or form to make this change and this transformation. I'm also seeing that you're being called to come back deeper to your faith again. Some of you may have been in a time of questioning things. You may be questioning your belief systems, questioning your past, questioning, other things, your faith or whatever. There's been some sort of questions that I'm feeling have been coming through for you. And Spirit has been talking to you a lot lately. Spirit has been talking to you. And as you come back and you make these sort of transformations that you're being called to make right now, it is going to reconnect you. It is going to realign you more than ever. The scarab beetles, they're very sacred and they're very connected to ancient Egypt. And it's interesting because I actually just got back from Egypt as well. But anyway, the scarab beetles, they're very connected to ancient Egypt, and they're known as something that's very sacred. What I'm seeing for you is that it's time to take yourself more sacredly. You are a sacred being, and it's time to treat yourself that way. It's time to honor yourself that way, right? Some of you have maybe been losing the connection that you normally have with yourself and your soul. And not that we can lose a connection with our soul is always there. But what I mean by this is, like, your soul is so deeply connected to a very like particular energy, and some of you may feel slightly out of alignment with that energy, and that's why these news and these messages and these signs have been coming in, because it's been calling you to make some changes in your life, some transformations that are going to get you back in alignment. This card also says nourishment. It's time to nourish your mind, body, and soul. How do we nourish our mind, body, and soul, right? So mentally, we may find nourishment in disconnecting from social media for a little bit. We may find nourishment in meditation or doing things that give us more mental ease. This could also deal with being kinder to ourselves, right? And kind of catching ourselves when we're talking negatively to ourselves and letting that stuff go a little bit, and just catching that and being like, you know what, no, I love myself, and kind of, reminding yourself to come back into the love of yourself, right? So those are some examples of mental ways of nourishing yourself mentally. But then, of course, we also need to focus on our body, nourishing our body properly. So this could be focusing on, what does our body really need, and what can maybe we cut out that maybe has been harming our body? What patterns can we end and stop, and what can we bring in that can bring us what we truly need? And then, of course, our soul. What makes our soul feel nourished? And that is through following what your soul is truly deeply connected to. So this could be doing certain things, practices that connect you deeper spiritually, doing certain practices that connect you to what feels soulful. That could be doing something creative, doing art, again, meditating, doing something where we connect back to our faith and what we believe in, that kind of stuff. So I'm seeing that it's time to treat yourself, your life, and your whole reality with more sacredness. And I feel like your whole reality is going to shift through this. You're going to get back into alignment, and your reality is going to start reflecting something completely different to you. It's all of a sudden going to become more peaceful, more serene, more loving, and it's going to reflect more beauty in your life. Things are going to feel more in alignment. If you feel like things have been going wrong lately and things have been out of alignment, it just seems like things constantly are like, oh, that went wrong today, and then this schedule thing didn't line up, and then that happened, and blah. If you've been feeling like that lately, that's usually an indication that our energy may be slightly out of alignment, which happens all the time. It's natural. So it's not something to be too worried about. Like, it's natural that we go in an ebb and flow, right? But right now, Spirit is wanting you to get back into the groove of things where things are easy for you and things are flowing and whatnot. And that comes through, again, the nourishment of your mind, body, soul. Through that nourishment, you're going to get back into that same wavelength of life. Your reality is going to start reflecting something very different. And I'm also hearing that there's certain nourishment that is going to be that you need, and you know that you need, and maybe you've been learning about it lately. Some of you may be like learning more about health lately and what your body needs to be nourished. And you're going to notice that your appearance begins to change, because the dove also, again, deals with beauty. So this could be like your hair, your skin, your nails. This could be like your body's health in general. You've been possibly being called to learn more, to talk to other people more. You're going to be gaining wisdom and knowledge, and it's time to have your ears open, okay? to listen to the news and the things that are coming in, because it's going to be information about how you can nourish yourself better. And through that, you're going to make some big transformations, and it's going to get you back into alignment. And trust me when I tell you that you are going to be getting back so much into alignment to where you feel free. We have birds on both of the ends of this reading, and then we also have the scarab beetle. So this is about freedom. It's about taking flight again to where we don't feel so weighed down by the world anymore. If you've been feeling weighed down, this is how you transform out of that. This is about you spreading your wings again and flying. And look, it's so interesting because the birds here are not really flying. They're kind of, learning and talking. And then this one's about nourishing yourself to where you feel sacred again. The scarab beetle, where you feel sacred again. And this also talks about the two hemispheres of the brain as well, but we'll get into that in a second. But then over here, all of a sudden you're flying. You're flying again. So this is about aligning both hemispheres of the brain. And when we think about the mind, if you're ever into learning more about the brain and brain coherence, which actually gets you back into alignment with the wavelengths of your brain and how your brain works, you can study Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has a lot of good studies on that, on our brain coherence and how to align both hemispheres of the brain. It's really interesting because in meditation, you can actually align both hemispheres of the brain very deeply to where they are very, very coherent. And that's a state where you feel a lot more bliss. Things come to you easier. Thought is easier. Ideas come to you easier. Creativity is a lot easier from that stage. So I'm seeing you realigning yourself. I also see a lot of you doing some deeper transformation with old stuff that used to hold you back, like old belief systems. And I'm really seeing so much freedom coming into your life. So much freedom to where you're spreading your wings again and you're like on cloud 9. So Spirit is letting you know that those changes that you've been thinking about making, they're going to transform you on a very deep level in a very positive way. So with that being said, let's get into our next few cards. So the next one that we have is the Star card. And this one talks about letting go and having a fresh start. This is time to destroy old patterns. The Star card comes specifically after the Tower card in tarot, and the Tower card is about ending and breaking old patterns that were never meant to last anyway. There's been something in your life that wasn't like clearly meant to last. It wasn't something that was sustainable. So it could have been, a habit that once made us happy, but maybe it wasn't a sustainable habit, right? So this is about getting back into alignment with sustainable habits, habits that nourish you and make you feel amazing, rather than the habits that are like, oh, that provides me temporary happiness, but then I'm kind of feeling like shit later and I have to pay for it later, right? So those are never sustainable. The Star card is when we break all of that away and we have a fresh, clean slate and a fresh, clean beginning. So I'm seeing a massive transformation for all of you, where you're taking yourself on a more sacred level. The Star card also is about sacredness, and it's also about when our guides are really connected to us and speaking to us a lot right now. So look out for signs, synchronicity, symbols, the things that people say to you, especially if it's something that you're like, wow, I've never heard people talk about this before. Now everybody's talking about it. Maybe take a mental note of that and be like, maybe that's something I should look into. Maybe that's something I should contemplate a little bit deeper. And whatnot. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of enlightenment, and I see you getting answers to deeper questions. Some of you have been like really pondering something and really seeking an answer to something. The fact that we have this golden orb around this woman's head signifies that you are getting enlightenment on something. So an answer that you were once seeking, all of a sudden or a question that you were once seeking the answer to, you are going to be receiving the answer to that question. And Spirit wants you to know that. Spirit says, we hear you, we hear the question you're asking, and we're going to send you the answer. We're going to send it to you. And this is going to be something where you can then take that information and then do some massive transformations and then reach your freedom and come back to this peace and serenity and beauty and love. We also have this 3 of Earth card coming up. The 3 of Earth, this is the 3 of Pentacles, and it talks about collaborations. I really think you're going to be hearing messages from other people. Other people are going to be playing a significant role in your life in the next little bit. I'm also sorry, it's like getting so bright in here. But anyway, there's going to be certain people that are going to play a really big role in your development. You may also be meeting people that are a conduit of this transformation that you're going to be going through as well. So embrace that. Embrace maybe the help from others, because I feel like this is like you're really going to be receiving lots of like help, and there's going to be certain things that people are saying that again aid in the transformation that you're going to be making in your life. We also have justice coming through. This is about getting back into balance. I see you getting your life back together to where all of a sudden you're on top of things better than ever. I also see you having more balance in both hemispheres of your brain. So rather than being overly logical and overly analytical and overly like questioning things, this is when we also create that balance again in our mind, and we start to also believe. We start to have equal amounts of faith, and that allows us to relax the logical mind a little bit. And when we have the equality of both hemispheres of the mind, of our logical and also more spiritual, mystical side of our brain and our faith, it unlocks more creativity. It also allows us to move through life with more ease. Imagine moving through life being completely analytical, being completely logical with zero faith. Life is going to get a little bit difficult. And then also you could go to the other extreme opposite, where we're living our life way too woo-woo. We completely disregard logic, we completely disregard reality, and we're completely only spiritual. That is also going to cause some imbalances and some difficulties. But when we can marry and balance, which is justice, when we can balance both hemispheres of the mind, when we can be logical, we can have reason, we can look at science, but then we can also marry that with faith, all of a sudden both of them fill the gaps of each other. If you're only logical, you have this major gap in your life where you're missing this energy. You're missing the glue that marries all of the science and reality together. But then again, if you're way too spiritual, you miss the solidity and the foundation that can help you walk through life easier. So when you have the balance of both, that's when you have this beautiful harmony, and that's when you have true fulfillment, and you're so much more in alignment with things when you can marry both of those sides. This is about kind of getting back into balance, you know, with your logical and more creative side of your mind and more spiritual side of your mind and of yourself, and also getting back into balance in general with yourself. Balancing out your time, your schedule, your routine, balancing where you put most of your energy, right? So I feel you balancing out your life so much more, and what Spirit again is really calling you towards is to focus deeper on that balance and also return to nourishing your mind, body, and soul. Then we also have the King of Earth. So this is about your foundation, the more reality, solid side of things. It's like you've become really good at the logical side of things, the analytical side of things. But then if we come back to the more spiritual side of it, it's going to marry this very well. Or again, vice versa. Some of you could have been the opposite of that, but this is about having that really strong, solid foundation. And it's so beautiful that this reading, we have the very spiritual card on this side, and then we have the very earthy card on this side, the very logical foundation kind of card. It's so beautiful that we have that, because that's that exact contrast of this balance that we're talking about. So I'm really seeing you getting back into alignment with your emotional needs, your spiritual needs, how you can truly nourish yourself on a deep level, but then also about, you know, the practicalities, our responsibilities, which is that earth sign again. If some of you have been feeling like you've been out of balance when it comes to your responsibilities, the things that you need to get done, your time and your schedule and all this kind of stuff that you need to do, if some of you have felt out of balance with that, let me tell you that when you balance all these things, look at, we have King of Earth, he's right side up. All of our cards here are actually right side up. This is going to help you get into beautiful balance to where you're like the king of your reality. You're like the king and the coordinator, and everything just seems in total alignment, and you feel in control of it again. It doesn't feel like it has control over you. All of a sudden you feel like you're in control of it, and it's working for you rather than you working for it, rather than you working for time and for your schedule and for your responsibilities and whatnot. It's like, no, all of a sudden they are working for you. They're doing something for you. So that is what we have there. Let's get into our next few cards. So we have also self-love. This is time to nourish yourself more and realize your worth. Look at this peacock. It's time to give yourself so much love to where you can show yourself off again. You can be yourself. You can flaunt what you are and what you know. And, you know, and it doesn't have to be flaunting in a bad way, but it can be the flaunting that's like, I'm confident and I'm here to, you know, show off who I am and be who I am and be that beacon of light of what I stand for and what I believe in and all that kind of stuff. We also have the Weaver. Also, this card, the Peacock, also, by the way, is connected to beauty as well. It's interesting we have the Dove and the Peacock. I really think a lot of you, through the transformations that you're going to be making, it's going to affect your appearance. And all of a sudden, I feel like there's going to be like, I don't know, like your hair, skin, and nails is going to somehow become healthier or more vibrant. Maybe you're just going to be exuding this sense of like, I don't know, this beauty kind of energy, and people are going to be noticing it. I think you're going to have a lot more people noticing you, but in a really positive way, and they're going to be like, wow, it's just like, you're looking really good. I think you're going to receive a lot more compliments as you kind of like go through this transformation. So keep that in mind. This is going to affect you even physically in a really positive way. Your physicality is like, I don't know, getting like an upgrade, I guess, you know? But yeah, that's kind of something that the Peacock also talks about. Anyway, the next card that we have is the Weaver. The Weaver comes in when we are like weaving like a brand new web of our reality. And you're also, again, cutting ties from something that was no longer resonating with you, because we can see this sword here. Sorry, the camera's like so blown out because of the light coming through my window, so I'm gonna just hold this up here. But yeah, so as we can see, it's this, you know, the knife is cutting these old cords. So this is like a cord cutting. You're cutting away from the things that no longer serve you, but you're also at the same time making room to weave a new web, to weave something completely new that you are in control of, and you're in control of that creative process. I think you're going to be weaving a new reality for yourself. You're weaving a new life for yourself. I think you're going to be making new patterns and making new habits, and they're going to be something that you're deliberately creating because you know that it's like part of what you actually desire, and it's paying off in a way that's actually good for you. Then we also have the Creator card, and I love that we have this one along with the Weaver card, because it's like you're in control of weaving your new reality, and you are the literal master creator of it. You're like the architect of your reality. So that's something that's also coming in, is like, as you get back into this alignment in your mind, body, and soul, you're going to call back your power through this to weave this new reality, be the creator of your life. And it's also going to be just like this like mind, body, soul upgrade. Literally a mind, body, soul upgrade that you're going to be going through this. And the Scarab Beetle is like so magical. I really think you're going to be unlocking like new talents through this, new interests, new things that all of a sudden you're going to be really good at, that you can excel at and that you can shine at. And it's interesting that you also chose the amethyst crystal, because the amethyst is really connected to spiritual transformations and also spiritual enlightenment and higher learning. That's what a lot of you are going to be going through, from what I see here, and you know, what Spirit's sort of calling you towards right now, and the message that Spirit has for you. As long as you go in that direction and make these sort of shifts and changes in your life, like, this is huge higher learning, getting way back into alignment. And this is something that I really see is just like, you're on the precipice of it. You're on the precipice of creating this big transformation in your life, okay? So let's go ahead and take our last set of cards. We're going to shuffle these and get any last little bit of information. So let's see. We have, a Timeless Earth. This one just came up for the last group as well. This one talks about that you're not too late. You're also not too young. You're not too early to the party, nor are you too late to it. So don't compare yourself to other people, right? We're in a timeless earth. You have the time to do what you desire to do. There's nothing in your way. A lot of us feel like we're always against time. There's more than enough time. There's somehow enough time for, like, you know, people who have so much on their schedule that can somehow still make things happen, and we're like, how do they do it? That's like superhuman, right? But we do live in a timeless earth. If you are inspired by the things that you're doing, you'll still have energy at the end of the day to do all the things that are, like, you know, that we have to be responsible for. And we're gonna have more fun doing it because we have the energy there, because we're inspired, we're high on life, right? So we live in this timeless earth where we can make time under our control rather than having time control us. So I really think that that's going to be a big shift for you, is like you're going to now be in control of your time rather than time being in control of you. So yes, and it all depends on our perspective. Again, if we have something we're so inspired about, it's going to be so easy to get the things done that we need to get done, and we'll have a surplus of energy left over to do the other things that we need to do, and that makes time work for us a bit better. And then we also have the self-worth card here. So then the self-worth, that's so funny because this one also came up for the last group, and I just gave them the example of, let's say you take a $100 bill. By the way, this is not my example. This is something I heard from somebody else. I don't remember who. But if you take a $100 bill, what is a $100 bill worth? Of course, we all know a $100 bill is worth $100. But let's take the $100 bill, let's throw it in a really gross alley where it's going to get stepped on, it's going to have mud all over it, it's going to fly around beneath garbage and maybe get like some gunk on it and whatnot. But if I pick up that $100 after it's gone through all of that, what is that now worth? Of course, it's still worth $100. It hasn't lost its worth. So what I mean by that, the point of that is, no matter what you've been through, no matter what your background is, no matter where you've come from, you have not lost any worth. You are a human being, and you are equally as worthy as any other human being on this planet. You have not lost any worth, no matter what factory you were made in, you know what I mean? Just like, and the example is coming because of, like, for example, the $100 bills. It doesn't matter what factory those $100 bills were made in. I don't know if there's multiple money factories, I don't know, but like, it's still worth $100. It's still worth $100, right? You are still a human being. You are worthy just as much as anyone else on this planet of anything that you desire. So, my love, Spirit wants you to know your worth. You are so worthy. Who is the person that you look up to the most on this planet? You are just as worthy as they are. You are equal to them, okay? You are their equal. So whatever it is that you desire to do on this planet, on this earth, you're worthy of it. If somebody else can be worthy of it, that means you are too, automatically. Just for existing, you are worthy of it as well. Okay, my love? So that is the messages that Spirit has for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this video, my love. I am sending you so much love. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 5. If you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. All right, so group number 5. What a powerful reading we have for you. Let me just say that off the bat. I've been getting some downloads just as I was placing these cards down on this table, and wow. Okay, we have the old woman, the old man, and the crown to start off your reading and your messages from Spirit. The first thing that Spirit wants to bring attention to is these two cards here indicate that you may be going through a more darker period of your life, where maybe we're a little bit more down and we're sort of seeing like, I don't know, a bit of lack in our life right now. And maybe it feels like we got the shitty end of a stick for a little bit. And that's what this old man card can talk about, because the inheritance that it says at the top can indicate, for one, it can indicate a positive inheritance, but it can also sometimes talk about like inheriting troubles. And it may feel at the moment like you are being given, I don't know, like kind of a more harder sort of part of your life right now. And Spirit really wants to bring focus to that, because it's interesting that we then, after these two cards, we have the Success and Pride card and the Crown. The Crown is so powerful. It talks about huge success where we feel on top of the pyramid. We feel on top of our life. We've gotten to a major goal, right? And, you know, right now in your life, you may be feeling more of this kind of more sadness feeling. It may feel like maybe we're lost, maybe we're confused, maybe it feels like we've reached certain failures and we don't know how to get past them, and we're currently struggling or dealing with a current thing that we've inherited. Maybe we've inherited certain struggles. Maybe we were given certain hardships. Maybe our background hasn't been the easiest, right? Maybe people have been piling certain things on our plate that we're like, I don't know how I can keep up with that. I don't know how I can handle that. Maybe people keep giving you more tasks to do, or you feel like you're responsible for certain things and it's been distracting you from where you truly want to bring your focus and the things that you truly want to, you know, do and be, right? But an interesting thing, there's magic happening around you right now. Do you see these little like sparkles over here in the Old Man card, and then those same sparkles over here in the Crown card? There's magic working through you right now and working around you right now. And Spirit wants to bring the focus to that. This magic, this pitfall that you may feel like you're in right now, is literally bringing you to your success. And the best way that I can explain this is like, say, for example, we are asking for strength. What do you think teaches us strength? Hardship. Hardship gives us the gift of strength. What teaches us how to climb a mountain? How do we get to the top of a mountain? If we're like, oh, my goal is to get to the top of this mountain, what do you think we're given? We're given the mountain to climb. So that's the stage that you're in right now. You may feel like you're at the bottom of the mountain and you really want to be at the top. You are literally on the path of your dreams right now. And I know that may seem like kind of weird. It might seem kind of strange. You might be like, I don't feel like I'm on the path of my dreams. I feel like it should not be this hard. You have big dreams and you're in the character building stage of that. And I know that might not sound like the greatest time, but literally magic is working around you right now. Everything that you've been asking for, you've actually been getting, and it's all teaching you something. The more that you can embrace this and not resist it, the more that you can be like, okay, what is this teaching me? Let's do this and let me do it to the best of my ability and let me get over this challenge and this hurdle, because the more that you get over this, the more that you move through it, the more that you learn from it, the more that you can take away from this, the more successful you are going to be. You know, it's interesting because the most successful people, if you look at the stories of the most successful people in life, and I'm not saying the ones that were born with it, that inherited it, I'm not saying those ones. I'm saying the ones that made their own success. They all have a crazy struggle story that they went through. All of them do. It does not make you further away from success. It actually makes you closer. Imagine giving a task to somebody who was born with everything and they never had to do anything. Imagine telling them to create a business. Okay, they might have the money, they might have the resources, but do they have any idea of what society may desire? Do they have any idea how to connect to people, how to relate to people, what to offer people? They may be very much lacking in that area. We can always gain resources. We can always gain experience. And right now, you are gaining tons of experience. And through that, you're going to know very well how to get the resources that you need as you become aware of that, as you learn that. And you are going to be given all the tools. Right now, you're being given the tools of how to create huge success. You're being given the lessons of that. And the way that we learn lessons can sometimes be a little bit difficult, right? Trying to solve a math problem can be a little bit difficult at first, but right when we get it done, we're like, oh shit, there's the gold, like there it is. And you know, the journey is more important than the destination. We're very focused on the destination. And I know the destination sounds beautiful, it sounds amazing, but the journey can be so amazing as well. And what I'm hearing from Spirit, the message from Spirit, is to embrace this time, to embrace this time. And Spirit really wants to let you know, do not give up. You have success in your future. Do not give up. Some of you may have been questioning, like, do I even continue doing this? Like, what the hell? Like, why is this constantly going wrong for me? Success is on the horizon. Just because you're failing at something, it doesn't mean that it's not for you. Sometimes you're just failing at something because you are being upgraded, right? How do you upgrade? Say you own a business. How do you upgrade the workers? You send them through school. You send them through a lot of lessons where they have to problem solve, they have to figure things out, and they become smarter for it. Right now, you're in the upgrading stage. Things may feel hard and difficult, but that's because you're learning and you're about to be upgraded where you'll get to the next level. And the more that you do that, you're going to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. Okay? And not all upgrades have to be super hard, but right now you're going through like, you know, a deeper grit of it, but you are getting to your success. Okay, you are on the path of your success. And that is the main message that Spirit wants to remind you of, is you are on the path of it. Embrace it. Do not give up. Do not lose hope of your dreams. I'm also seeing in this card, the inheritance card, the old man. Spirit is going to be sending you gifts along the way. Do not give up. You're being sent gifts along the way. Put your best foot forward. Put your best, your heart and soul into every moment, into the things that you're doing. Put your best foot forward. Do not give up. Do your best. And you're going to be given these gifts along the way that are going to take you to your success. I'm kind of seeing like, you know, in this happens a lot in Disney movies. And that's probably why I find Disney movies so inspiring. I know there's some controversy around that, but like Disney movies can be ultra inspiring. Do you ever see those like, a lot of the times, like the main character, like Cinderella, for example, she's given a lot of hardship, but she has this like great attitude through it all. And was the hardship trying to tell her like, oh, give up, stop doing it, it's not worth it? No, the hardship was there to grow her into such an amazing woman who knows how to handle the deepest of problems and who deserves the freaking world, right? But she always put her best foot forward. But that's also why she deserved so much. You know, like as a character, as you're watching, you know, Cinderella, and you're seeing like all the struggles, but yet she puts her heart and soul into everything always. She doesn't lose her hope, her faith, that something better is coming along. And that develops her so well. Imagine if she lived a life where she was just given everything. Like she would have turned out to be such a different person, right? But she went through all these really deep struggles and she became a beautiful freaking person because of it, right? Like she became an amazing person that you respect a lot through that show and through that movie. So right now it's like you're going through this, but this is really building you into the person that deserves all the success in the world. And you do deserve that success, okay? You're on the path of that. Magic is literally happening around you. Put your best foot forward into it, into everything that you're doing in life, and realize that you're an amazing freaking person, and you will get here, okay? Your success is right here, and you are on the path of it. You are completely on the path of it, okay? So with that being said, let's go into our next few cards. So we have the 8 of Water coming up, which is the 8 of Cups. This is about leaving something behind and going on a journey. So what I'm seeing is you may be kind of like feeling stuck right now, but this is time to go on the path, go on the journey, There's a message here of don't question it, don't wait for the right moment, don't overanalyze things. It's time for you to go on the journey of where you're being called to go. Whatever that means for you. The Eight of Water, which is the Eight of Cups, is about embarking on a journey to find your true fulfillment. The Eight of Water can indicate that we're currently feeling like something's missing, but this is about going on the journey to seek it and to find it. And Spirit is encouraging you to do that right now. And Spirit's saying that you have what it takes. You have what it takes, and you are worthy of finding that fulfillment. You are completely worthy of finding that fulfillment. And you are capable of it as well. You are worthy and you are capable. It's time to start the journey. We also have the Queen of Water. This is about following your intuition. This is also a reminder that you're never given desires for those desires to mock you. You know, when we're born on this earth, we have such unique personalities, and those unique personalities invoke certain desires within us, right? You have a very particular personality. It has invoked certain desires. It has invoked certain likes and dislikes within you. And you are not given that in order to be mocked. You are given that as a guidance system to show you where you need to go and the journey that you need to take. So it's time to listen to that intuition. It's time to listen to that magical light inside of you that is such a gift, that is urging you where to go and what to do with your life. It's time to listen to that and honor that. Breathe it in and follow it, right? The next card that we have is the Queen of Earth being reversed. Some of you may feel restricted because of your current circumstances. The Queen of Earth, when she's reversed, can talk about that maybe we feel like we currently can't keep up with the amount of responsibilities that we currently have. We may even feel restricted by some of the responsibilities that we currently have. But the thing is there's always a way. There's always a way if we're willing to see it, if we're willing to be open to it. There's always a way. If there's a will, if you have the willpower to make it happen, there's always a way. The will talks about the willpower that you have. Do you have enough desire for it? If you have enough desire for it, there is always a way. That is what that saying means, right? Do you have enough passion behind it? Do you have enough will? Do you have enough willpower? If you have enough willpower, you will find a way, right? So you see how that kind of works out now? So build up that desire and that knowing that, yes, I can get there, and yes, I'm going to do it. I'm absolutely going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I must do it. And once you have that, you'll be unstoppable. There's a way. There's always a way. And then those restrictions, you're going to find a way around them. Inevitably, you have to. When there's enough willpower, you must find a way, right? It's kind of like those moments of survival. If you put somebody in a situation where it's like, this is extreme, by the way, this is extreme, so I don't mean for you to take this literally by any means, but let's put somebody in a situation where it's either do or die. They will absolutely do their best to freaking find a way, right? And there's been crazy miracles that have happened. They will, you know, when you put somebody in that situation, they're willing to do a lot more, right? So that's an example of how willpower can really cause us to like find a way, right? So situations like that, you know, our adrenaline gets pumping and we're like, oh, I must do this. And we're usually much more capable of doing things when we have that. So once you build enough willpower, there's always a way. If you can build enough willpower in yourself to get to your desires, you will find a way, no matter what your current restrictions may be, no matter what your current responsibilities may be or hindrances may be, you will find a way. So yes, the next card that we have is Messenger of Air. So this is like planning things. This is having a plan. You're going to be coming up with a plan as you build enough willpower within you to get to your success. This is also about, another thing that I'm hearing in this is to take action, but to think things through. Think things through, but then take action. Don't just talk about it. Don't just say it. It's about taking action. That's also another message in there. So our next few cards that we have, sorry, it's getting super blown up in here to where it's like kind of hard to see these other cards, but let's keep moving forward. We also have the nature card. So nature, getting back in touch with your natural instincts, your natural self. What is natural to you? Are you naturally called towards your freedom? Are you naturally called towards a certain desire? If so, it's time to honor that natural guidance, that natural feeling that you have. We also have the Explorer. Ooh, yes, I love that this card came up. What confirmation. Like, this card is such confirmation. The Explorer, it's time to get outside of your comfort zone. It's time to explore more ideas. It's time to explore ways of making this happen. Let's explore more. We haven't explored enough, especially if we feel still like we're restricted and we can't do something. We haven't explored it enough. We could explore it more until we find a way. We explore it more until we get to our success. Explore it endlessly. This world has endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. Let's explore. Let's get out there and do it. Because if you explore more, you will find the path. You will find a way. Okay? And we also have Underworld. Ooh. So if some of you have been feeling a lot of pressure lately, to where it's like, ooh, like there's so much responsibility, there's so much pressure, there's so much this, there's so much that. This card perfectly solidifies and perfectly puts the most amazing imagery to what's truly happening to you right now under that pressure. All of that pressure that you're feeling right now is like the same process of what minerals go through underneath the earth when they have so much pressure on them, and it creates a lot of heat, it creates a lot of like uncomfortability. But when all of that pressure is there, that's when the most beautiful gemstones and crystals are formed. And when we see those, it's like mind-blowing how beautiful they can be. It's like how the hell does the earth even create something like that? You know what I mean? Like, for example, oh my gosh, look at the beautiful crystal that you guys chose too. It almost looks like the crystal that's like in this, right? This is naturally formed, by the way. These are not cut like this. This crystal was not cut to look like this. This is naturally how it's formed. Although the coloring on it is artificial. That's what you call angel aura quartz. It's like coated with like platinum and things like that, and it creates these beautiful colors. But anyway, the shape of it, however, quartz grew like this. This is quartz and it grew like this, underneath immense pressure from the earth. The minerals, I think it's like, I don't know, like silica, something, whatever that creates quartz, I don't know. But under a lot of pressure, it forms the most beautiful geometric patterns, the shapes, like it's the most gorgeous thing that you could ever look at. That's the process that you're going through right now. You're going through that underworld process where it might feel like really hard and difficult and crazy, but you're being formed into the most amazing person. Again, kind of like that Cinderella example. She became a freaking gem going through all of that. She was a really kind person beforehand, but I don't think she would have developed that much strength and that much inner power than if, you know, she went through a perfect life where her mother and father were still around and raised her in this, like, you know, perfect house, perfect community, whatnot. She would have never kind of really gone as far, nor would she have gained as much strength and power, inner power, without going through the wicked stepmother and without going through losing, you know, what she's lost and whatnot. She wouldn't have developed the same. So again, if you feel like you're going through a lot right now, you are developing into the most beautiful gemstone. Have that great outlook through it. Persist through the greatness of it. That's the message from Spirit. Spirit is like, you're going through a beautiful process right now. And even though it might not seem that, because, you know, sometimes things can look a bit like, ugh, while you're going through them, but at the same time, it's developing you beautifully. It's developing you beautifully. And I know I'm kind of repeating myself right now, but I really feel like all these messages, they're super important for you to know, is like, keep your head high. And just as I say in Cinderella, I know I'm getting like super cheesy right now, and Cinderella is actually like my favorite movie, especially the one that they did, I think in like 2015. I love that one. But anyway, that one, there's a quote in there where Cinderella's mother always tells her, have courage and be kind. I feel like that's like the message for you in this reading, because I keep getting pulled to talk about Cinderella, and I keep getting pulled to like say that quote. Have courage and be kind. Have courage to get through anything and to get to your dreams, and be kind through it. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Be kind to the world. Put your best foot forward under every circumstance. Kind of like Cinderella did. She put her best foot forward constantly, no matter what she was going through. And even when she had nothing, she still gave to others. And, you know, it's just have courage and be kind, and you will come out stronger than ever. You're going to come out as the most beautiful gemstone. And that most beautiful gemstone, you're going to be rewarded for that. Gifts will be given to you. Good karma is going to flow your way, and you're also going to have a much easier time going through anything in life when you have courage and be kind. You're going to have an easier time going through everything. And I know it might sound really corny and whatnot, but it's really true. It's really true how much that transforms us. And I also want to point out, because I don't believe in coincidences, it's not a coincidence that we're ending off this reading with all of these cards being completely blown out to where you can almost not even see them anymore. But then this card, our outcome card, still remains like perfectly seen as we're reaching the end of this reading. That's because Spirit is wanting you to focus on, not focus on this. We're meant to focus on this. Focus on the plan. Focus on the fact that you're being transformed so beautifully. Focus on the fact that you're a freaking gemstone and that you are worthy of this success, and you are going to get there, okay? So to end off this reading, we're going to get any last few messages that Spirit has for you for group 5. Let's see, any last messages for my beautiful group 5s. Let's see, group 5, group 5, group 5. All right, so we have the seasons of the heart. Ooh, so you're going through different seasons right now. Of course there's different seasons. You may be going through a winter season right now, for example, where things feel a bit more closed off, a bit more slow, a bit more frozen. But the thing is after winter comes spring, where we spring back to life. And you can open that back up by thawing that out, giving it more warmth, giving your heart more warmth, more kindness, more love. You're going to thaw away the winter, and you're going to bring back the spring where things are going to start blooming again, right? So the seasons of the heart, and let's see if we can get any last other messages for my group 5s. Okay. Oh my gosh, this one's been coming up for so many people, but I can see why. So self-worth. Just as I said in the last 2 groups, actually, with this card, self-worth, very powerful. And this may have come up for another group as well. I don't know. But this card, let's use the example that I've been using in all the other readings, because it's a very powerful example. If I show you a $100 bill and I ask you, what is that worth? That $100 bill is worth, of course, $100, right? Let's say I take that 100 bill and I throw it into a really dirty alleyway that's full of garbage, it's full of dirt and mud and grossness, and let's say it gets stepped on and walked on and it has all this dirt, it gets all crinkled up and blah and whatnot, and I take that $100 bill and I take it back out and I ask you, how much is that worth? Of course, it is still worth $100. It did not lose any of its worth, right? That $100, no matter what it's been through, no matter what its past is, no matter anything, it's still worth $100. You are a human being on this planet. You are just as worthy as any other human being on this planet. You are just as worthy. I know it's getting super blown out here. You are just as worthy as any other. So, for example, look at the person, or think of the person that you look up to the most in this world, that you wish you could have what they have, or wish you could live the life that they're living. Think about that person. And let me tell you right now, you are just as worthy you are just as worthy as they are of reaching that level of success and that level of anything. You are a human just like they are. You are just as worthy. Just because the sheer fact that you are also human means you are just as worthy as they are to achieve what they've achieved and to do what they've done. And you are also just as capable. You have it within you. You have it within you. Some of the most successful people on this planet have been through some of the worst things imaginable. And some of them, of course, some people were born with it, some people have been. But then other people, there's tons of examples of insanely successful people that have come from the most awful situations and some really deep hardship, and they've still gotten to their goals as well. And that's not luck. You have it within you as well. You are human. You are the same. You are so capable, okay? You are capable and you are worthy. That's self-worth. You are just as worthy, okay? So my love, that is what we have for you. That is the message that Spirit had for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye.